Hey guys, this is Lindsay with Garage Gym Reviews. Today we are doing something that is full circle. It's a full circle moment, okay? The first video I ever recorded here after I had been first hired at Garage Gym Reviews was the NordicTrack 1750. Hey guys, this is Lindsay. I'm here with Garage Gym Reviews, and today I'm going to talk about the NordicTrack 1750 commercial treadmill. Looking back, I don't know if you've seen that video. I cringe at myself. I feel like pat on the shoulder, Lindsay, you've come a long way when it comes to recording videos. But today we are actually going to do the 1750 again because they have released a 2023 version, and it does come with a little bit of different things that we are going to talk about compared to the old 2019 version. A couple things just to highlight real quick. It does offer a bigger screen, and that screen also swivels in a complete 360 degrees. So if you are using the iFIT programming, you can go ahead, follow along whether you are on or off the treadmill. It also comes with a lower deck. And one thing that I'm really excited about is it offers active pulse technology. Essentially, it's going to read your heart rate during your workout and adjust accordingly. A couple things, as always, while we are testing machines, it's always kind of the same questions, but we always are going to look at the durability, the programming, and the noise level. So is this a solid? Is this a sturdy machine? Is this a loud machine? Is this quiet? And what kind of programming does it have to offer? Is it a smart programming? Or is it just programming available on the machine? Before we answer all of those questions, be sure you are subscribed to our channel. Also, if you do want to purchase this new updated version of the NordicTrack Commercial 1750, we have placed a link below the like button. When you use that link, it doesn't cost you anything extra. It just gives us a small commission. Also, for transparency's sake, NordicTrack did send us the 1750. However, as always, we are going to be honest and transparent, so we will tell you exactly what we like and we don't like. Okay, so lately I've actually really enjoyed waking up before my kids, which is kind of like a daunting task in itself because we have to get up so early to bring them to school. But I've gone ahead, just tried to make it a priority and just try to get in some extra steps throughout the day, which I've actually kind of really liked and has kind of set me up for success throughout my day. So when the 1750 was sent to us, I thought I'm just going to go ahead and do a full walking series on the iFIT programming. I went ahead, followed the beginner walking series with the trainer, and I actually really loved it. I mean, it wasn't like this intense, cardiovascular experience, but a 30-minute walk using the auto-adjust technology that the 1750 has is actually one of my favorite things. So with the auto-adjust technology, essentially it's going to change your incline and decline. It's going to adjust your speed to whatever that trainer has set it at without you having to really push any buttons at all. There are a couple things to keep in mind if you are going to purchase the 1750. Kind of keep this in mind before you purchase. One would be to make sure that you have a buddy to help you set this up. Now, I do think that somebody can get away with doing 90% of this build on their own, but there are a couple parts that you're definitely going to want to grab somebody or a friend, whatever the case may be, to help you with that build. If you don't have that, you can go ahead, pay a little bit extra money for the white glove delivery service. But to be honest, with the white glove delivery service, we've kind of had hit or miss experiences. If it's an overly complicated build, we'll always probably recommend the white glove delivery service. But in this case, with the 1750, I think that most people are plenty capable of building it on their own. The other thing to keep in mind is to fully take advantage of that free trial of iFIT. I mean, go ahead, go crazy, use all of the classes just so you know what you are getting into when you sign up for that yearly membership. Okay, so one thing to keep in mind, there is a lot that the 1750 does offer. In the 2019 version, it was actually priced at $2,000. Today, it's priced a little bit above that $2,500 mark. Now, that is a lot of money for one machine. There is financing available. And so one thing that I kind of was asking myself, I've always loved the 1750, but does that cost still make this machine worth it? One thing that I do think is unique about this is in this price range, there isn't a whole lot of machines that offer both an incline and a decline feature. With the 1750, it actually goes to a -3% decline as well as a 12% incline. It ranges from speeds of 0 to 12 miles per hour, which is pretty standard. Now, they have updated the screen size from 10 inches all the way up to 14 inches, and I really like that fact. There are a couple things to keep in mind in terms of its footprint. Okay, this is a larger treadmill, although it looks a lot slimmer, it looks a lot sleeker. It's a lot more aesthetically pleasing than the old 2019 version. But the footprint on this is 80 inches long, 38 inches wide, and 65 inches high. Now, while it does have wheels on the backside of the treadmill, this is still like a large treadmill. In the box, it weighs 340 pounds. So again, you're probably going to want a buddy to help you move that box to the room that you want to build this at. Now, one thing about moving it, again, this is like just my personal preference after moving a ton of treadmills around the warehouse like all the time, but it does have like a small shelf on the center of the back of the treadmill to help you move it. However, when you go ahead, pull down, automatically I want to reach to the sides. This is just maybe like my own personal like preference. There's not a great way to grab onto the sides of this treadmill in order to move it. So instead, you're kind of like stuck like this position, and it just felt like a little awkward, a little uncomfortable. It's such a minor detail, but I think it's worth noting. Now, the weight capacity on this machine is 300 pounds. While that does meet industry standard, I'm kind of shocked that they didn't increase that weight capacity in some form or function. When I look at other treadmills out on the market today, a lot of them are going past that 300 pound mark. So for example, Sol is doing a fantastic job of this. Sol is actually offering a lot of their treadmills at a past 300 pound weight capacity. For example, the F85 by Sol has a 375 pound weight capacity. It's in a similar price point to the 1750, and it does have a lot of the same offerings as the 1750. Now, while this is not a compact treadmill, it's not like you can go ahead, just fold it up, shove it behind your door when guests come over. It does fold, and it does have a very smooth, slow lower. As you disengage the belt deck from the upright position, again, you're not gonna have to worry about it just like slamming to the ground. Always a huge factor for me, especially if you have any sort of like little pets or kids running around the house. Now, the 1750 does offer a 60 by 20 inch belt deck. I was kind of surprised. I thought they might update it to a 22 inch belt deck. That's what we see a lot of treadmills doing nowadays. It kind of seems to be almost like the trend moving forward with a lot of companies. Little surprised they didn't do that 22 inch belt deck. However, I still think that 20 inches is like perfectly fine. And really in past videos, I've said like, I don't notice a huge difference from the 20 to the 22 inches. The motor size is a 3.5 Dur-X Commercial Plus motor. Now, I tried to look up exactly what those words meant. Now, while I am not the most savvy internet like technology finder person, I didn't find much information about what exactly a Dur-X Commercial Plus motor meant. I think it's a lot of like fancy marketing terms. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you find information, let me know. But the 3.5 CHP is what I'm really after. It's what I'm really looking for. And with a motor size like that, you aren't going to have to worry about any sort of components burning out over time. I think this is a solid machine that's going to last you a long time, and it can handle higher speeds or higher inclines. So if you are somebody who really pushes the incline, really pushes the speed, this might be a good treadmill to look at. Now, a couple other like minor callouts that I do have to this machine. Although it does have fans, I didn't find them to be completely overwhelming. However, I do like where they are placed. A lot of times with treadmills, we'll see that like when I hop onto them, you aren't able to adjust them and they'll just like blast me in the chest, which is doing nothing for me. This one can be adjusted. However, it is really wide and really large compared to other treadmill fans that I've seen, and did a pretty decent job of cooling off my face while I was using it. The other thing that I don't really love about it is it doesn't have like a media shelf so that you can't store your phone or your smart device. Sometimes I like to like throw on Netflix, watch a show, whatever the case may be, but you can't do that with a 1750. NordicTrack advertises that it has quiet drive technology. I completely agree with this. When we have tested it at a high incline, higher speeds, we like hardly heard any noise in the adjusting part, and truthfully, hardly any noise as that belt deck is going around at a higher speed. Compared to other treadmills out there, I think that like across the board, NordicTrack does a really good job of making quieter machines. In terms of other kind of comforts, it does have two large water bottle holders, so if you need to put your Stanley there, you can totally do that. It does have Bluetooth connectivity and Wi-Fi capabilities. Now, one thing to call out is while I was connecting my earphones to the Bluetooth, it did take quite a while for them to find it, but once they found it, it was able to connect it really quickly, and I didn't have any problems afterwards. NordicTrack does have a 10-year warranty on the frame, 2 years on parts, and 1 year on labor. Now, one thing to mention, and if you've seen any of my videos on NordicTrack before, you know I'm going to say this. No, I have to call it out because even though those other ones were kind of like minor details to call out, I do think this is a bigger one, and I think it's worth really considering if you're going to buy a NordicTrack treadmill. Your warranty can be void if you keep it in a non-climate controlled area. So you are going to want to go through that warranty with like a fine-tooth comb, make sure you know exactly what that means. Some people are able to get away with it being in their garage if they have like a mini split and insulation and things like that. But essentially, if you just put it in your garage as a garage, you have the potential to void the warranty. If you want more details on the 1750, we do have a full article review on our website you can go ahead and check out. Here's kind of like the bottom line. Here's where I stand. I love the 1750, even at that higher price point, but I do think at that higher price point, you can find other treadmills that are just as good. Now, here's kind of like the standout with the 1750. It comes along with the iFIT programming. And overall, I am like continually impressed with iFIT programming. I think it's fantastic. I think it is worth buying into, especially if you want some like external motivation. If you're somebody who doesn't need smart features, you don't want that external motivation, you don't want that programming, there are probably other treadmills for maybe around the same cost, a little cheaper, that have built-in programming that you can use just on the treadmill instead of like a Peloton or iFIT programming. So I really think that with the NordicTrack treadmill, with the 1750 specifically, you are buying into that iFIT programming. I think that is a key seller to this treadmill. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't think this is a great treadmill. I really do. Overall, like I would still put this in my house. I think it's fantastic. But let us know what you think in the comments. This has been Lindsay with Gresham Reviews. Peace.